The Union's winning streak to start the season has ended at 3 games. We break down what went wrong in the Union's 3-1 home loss to Nashville on Sunday before we look ahead to the team's first cross-conference matchup of the season. All that and more as Union Insider starts right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm your host, Marisa, and I'm joined by two of my favorite former Union players, Sebastian Latou and Sheanon Williams. I won't tell you which one is my absolute favorite. They'll have to guess. The Union entered Sunday's match atop the Eastern Conference table and as one of 2 teams in all of MLS to start the season unblemished through the first 3 games. They put that record to a test against a Nashville team that had a mixed bag of results to start their season, but was coming off their first win of 2025 entering Sunday. Unfortunately, the Union winning streak came to an end. It wasn't meant to be, so here's the highlights from Sunday's match. With both teams looking for a strong start in the first 15 minutes, and it was in that 15th minute that Nashville would strike first. Sam Surridge gets the ball after a mistimed Jacob Glesnes jump, and then he maneuvers around Frankie Westfield and Andre Blake to put the ball in the back of the net, and Nashville jumps out early to a 1-0 lead. Now on to the 33rd minute, the Union earned back-to-back corners, and they finally broke through on the second one. After Kai Wagner's corner was headed away, the ball ends up finding the foot of Jovan Lucic, who rifles off the volley into the corner of the unoccupied net to the delight of the crowd. It was Lucic's second goal in as many games, and the Union are back in this one 1-1. But right before halftime, Nashville build-up leads to a great ball in space for Ahmed Quasim, who beats Jacob Glesnes and Andre Blake and puts one in the perfect spot, a low ball in the far bottom corner to stun the Union crowd and give Nashville the 2-1 lead going into the half. The Union had plenty of opportunities to equalize this game, but just wasn't meant to be. Their time eventually ran out. 82nd minute, a collision in the box between Hani Mukhtar and Jacob Glesnes led to a VAR goal and an ensuing penalty kick that he converted. And that is how the game ended, a 3-1 win for Nashville at home against the Philadelphia Union. And that is how the Union's first loss of the season came to be. So we often say that you learn more from your losses than you do your wins. So I want to hear from both of you. What was the biggest lesson you took away for the Union in this one?
For me, I think it was 2 things, kind of commenting the game. We saw like the first half, of the team. I don't think, everybody played at their level at what we saw, for the first 3 games of the year. I don't think we had 1 or 2 players who were really like above everybody else. I think everybody kind of didn't play at their level for the first thing. But even if we did this, we still created some chances. Then I think the second takeaway for me is like the little mistake out of the back that, we were a little bit too aggressive, too high, I think, for the 2 first goals of Nashville in the first half. Glesnes trying to step, to win the ball into the forward, but the ball could play behind. Then, of course, the cover could be better as well. But it's all of the little details of kind of being aggressive the way we saw, Bradley Carnell wants to play. Can we find, the right balance, for the back line to don't be too high and leaving a lot of space behind. After that, I think 3-1, the second half, the referee kind of, went into the mix, a lot of mixed call, not really at the advantage of the Union. You saw the PK at the end for, Hani Mukhtar. It was kind of a game maybe to forget for the Union, but I don't think like we 3-1, it's a big score. They could have scored, they got some opportunities, we didn't create any chances, but I don't think anybody in the starting 11 or the guy on the field played at their full level.
Yeah, how about you, Sheanon? What was the lesson you learned from this one?
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit sloppy in both sides of the field. I thought in the attack they were able to create chances and just not put away those chances. I thought Gazdag had a really good chance. Obviously, they missed the penalty, and those are things that can get you back into a game. And then on the flip side, the defensive side, just too easy to give up these goals. Obviously, the PK call is a little bit controversial, but the other 2 goals are just sloppy and not reading the game well. Obviously, when you look to put that much high pressure, teams are going to look to bypass that and play beyond you. The Union just didn't do a good enough job handling that ball that went over the top. Gave away way too many breakaways, things that we weren't used to seeing in the first 3 games. They have to do a better job. Now that teams have them on tape and have seen how they're going to play this season, they have to do a better job handling that ball in behind. I thought Nashville did a really good job not looking to play cute in between the lines, just being a little bit more direct, and that gave the Union a lot of problems in this game.
Is there a player you wish kind of helped solidify the group as things were falling apart in the moment?
I mean, when you look at the back line, I think Glesnes is the one with the most experience who can really, put everybody together. But I don't think he had his best game, against Nashville. So if you are in doubt, as a player, you don't feel maybe you are the one who need to bring everybody back, together, especially to solidify their defense and making sure, like Sheanon said, I think the communication is very important because the way they want to play, it's always going to be aggressive and step on the forward. But can the other three guys do a better job, covering the space when the ball got beat, by the person who go, to put pressure on the forward. So it's a little bit of communication. Glesnes could have been this guy, but, with Andre as well, in a back line. But something we didn't mention, I think in that game, especially in the first half, the wind was kind of a factor as well. He was pretty strong, and you can see the guys kind of misreading the trajectory of the ball, especially when he was bouncing or he was in the air. They were thinking, oh, it's right here. But then, the ball was going maybe 5 or 10 yards further. So it was, a tough break for them. And I think after the first goal, you can see the confidence of the guy in the back kind of going a bit lower.
And Sheanon, you said Nashville did a good job of kind of scouting this new way the Union want to play and finding a way to adapt to it. Do you think going forward the Union are going to be able to adapt to all these changes in opponents?
Absolutely. I think it's an easy fix for this Union side. Seba talked about it and talked about how important it is to give cover, especially when you see one of those guys in the back line step up and get tight to somebody. In that game, they were just sitting there so flat. So as soon as that ball went over the top and one person gets beat, they all get beat. So that's an easy fix for them. I still like to see them push up and really pressure the ball. They've been able to create a lot of good chances like that. So they need to continue on like that and just do a little bit better job on the back end of things, making sure that they're defending that space behind a little bit better.
Yeah, they need to do. It'll be interesting to see how the team reacts in the first loss of Bradley Cornell's tenure as head coach. As you can see, Seba's not here, but don't worry, he's just right across the studio because he's going to break down the key play of the week presented by Subaru. Seb?
Yes, thank you very much, Marisa. So on this goal, for me, his fourth game in a season could be maybe one of the best goals of the Union so far, by none and only the guy who scored 2 times in a row, Jovan Lukic. So he starts with the corner with Kai Wagner. You can see him, upping both of his hands in the air, which means I think he's going to hit in the back post. Bad clearance, from the Nashville, but at the end, what a volley by Jovan Lukic. Have you scored something like that, Sheanon? In your career?
Only in my dreams, buddy.
But what you can see is really, the Union attacking really the back post. You see Willie, the goalkeeper, kind of running into his defender, but at the end, right here, when you can see, it's really how Lukic keep his concentration. It's the most important for me. When you see, if you pose right here, the ball is not even just screen it. Look at his head. He's just looking at the ball. He has maybe 1, 2, 3 Nashville players, coming at him, and it's all about concentration to have the best contact. And what a banger, as I say, on the radio. He really put everything in it. Nothing, stop his shot. So if you can play, keep his eyes on the ball until the end and make the perfect contact, keep it low, and he got the equalization for the Union.
We've got more Union Insider for you in a bit, but first, here's our Union trivia question presented by United Concordia. The Union used the same starting lineup for each of the first 4 matches of the season. When was the last time the club used the same lineup for 4 straight matches in MLS? Find out the answer later in the show. Welcome back to Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. Ty Baribo has been one of the stories of the season in all of MLS, but he didn't get an opportunity to showcase his skills until almost a year into his Union tenure. Since then, he's been one of the best goal scorers in the league and is this year's Golden Boot leader through 4 games for the 3-1-0 Philadelphia Union. Our Sage Hurley sat down with Ty Baribo to talk about that experience and more on the Dupe presented by Subaru.
So that moment, you finally are getting a chance in June. You go out on the field. You score 2 goals.
Yeah.
Wasn't a win, but it was an incredible match for you. What were your feelings when you found out that you'd be able to make the start that day?
I was nervous, actually, because I knew it will be now you get your chance. And if you're good, okay, perfect. But if you're not, so you didn't play for a reason. So I knew it's one game that I need to do everything to show everybody and to show to myself that I really belongs to here, to this league. And I have mental coach that is with me, working with me maybe 6 years. So I immediately called him. We had a meeting of maybe 2 hours, and we spoke with each other, and he gave me confidence. And yes, the rest is history. I mean, we didn't win all the time. Again, it's nice that I score, and as a striker, I all the time want to score, but I have the passion to win. I like to win. I like to score, and I like to win. So when you just score and don't win, okay, you said I scored, I did my job, but something is missing. Something is missing.
Did that game give you confidence going forward into the season?
Yeah, of course. The first chance that you get and you score two goals, of course, it gives you a lot of confidence. I was not nervous from the eyes or from the media start to speak with me. I was waiting for this. I mean, if you wanted to be like a top scorer, like you said, like a really big striker, you have to adapt to this situation. But again, when I didn't play, I was trying to find the things that I will be able to come to get it. I knew that I will get the chance at the end. I don't know when. Like, I didn't know it will happen like after 10 months. But I wanted to prepare myself as the best way. So I was trying to find the ways how I can make myself better. So I started to box, actually, because when you don't play a lot, you lose your fitness. And the boxing gave me the fitness back.
Wow.
Yeah, so I play against Cincy. I play, I think, 85 minutes. And I felt good. Of course, I had a cramp in the calves at the end, but I believe it's because I was trying to look the ways that I can be like ready. I need to prepare my body to the situation that I will get the chance, and I'm happy that I did it. And you can see that after this, when I got the opportunity to play against Cincy, like you said, I started to score because I believed it's because I preparing myself, my body, and my mind.
Thanks, Sage. Well, there will be a couple players this weekend looking to get their opportunity to shine, with 5 regulars for the Union leaving for international duty. One of those players looking to step up this weekend is new Union player Jan Glavinovic, who signed with the Union this offseason and has appeared in only 2 games so far. So who exactly is Jan Glavinovic, both the soccer player and the person? We went with him on a Jan voyage to Madrid while the team was in Spain during preseason in January to find out.
La verdad que bueno, en Filadelfia me encontré una ciudad muy linda, estructuralmente la verdad que llama mucho la atención, y respecto al equipo y al club la verdad que también muy bien estructuralmente, lindas canchas, muy lindo estadio y nada, la verdad que me sentí muy cómodo y muy bien, y también me recibieron muy bien, que es muy importante. Me conecté mucho bueno, al principio con Alejandro Bedoya, el cual del primer día literalmente de encontrarme con el equipo, él fue como mi guía, y bueno, hoy en día estoy mucho con Chuchu, con Jesús Bueno, concentro con él, y nada, la verdad que muy buena persona, y también me hace muy bien porque le pregunto cosas sobre el inglés y también me ayuda un poco. Me considero un jugador rápido, con buen timing y también muy pensante. Me gusta tener la pelota en los pies, me gusta arriesgar, y bueno, también me gusta mucho conducir hacia adelante, atacar, pero bueno, hay cosas que todavía hay que seguir mejorando. Me gusta jugar por el lado izquierdo más que por el derecho, y nada, creo que puedo encajar bien en el equipo. La verdad que son entrenamientos muy intensos, está muy bueno. Parte de lo que hace él, de lo que quiere, lo que pide, es parte de lo que venía haciendo yo en mi ex club, y eso es bueno, tener ya un poquito de memoria y poder realizarlo en campo, pero en líneas generales la verdad que tenemos para un buen año. Mis mayores influencias cuando era chico, siempre lo fue mi familia, creo que sobre todo más mi mamá. Luego bueno, tengo un hermano más chico en el cual también practica el deporte, lo juega, y siempre fuimos de apoyo mutuo. Y sacando de lado la familia, yo creo que mis amigos también son parte de mí y han tenido un papel también muy importante. Mis hobbies, por así decirlo, son juntarme mucho con mis amigos, pasar el rato con ellos, salir, disfrutar, es jugar en casa a la compu, a videojuegos. Y bueno, también me gusta mucho pescar, lo hago cuando realmente tengo más tiempo y lo disfruto mucho, ya sea con mi familia o ya sea también con amigos. Venir a España para mí fue algo lindo, yo tuve la oportunidad de venir en 2016 y bueno, también me trajo esos momentos de nuevo acá y nada, bueno, es parte también de mi idioma, así que también me sentí cómodo por ese lado, pero bueno, en ningún momento dejé de hablar inglés y sigo con clases, así poder comunicarme mejor con mis compañeros y todo el staff. Mi objetivo para este año son poder, en principal, poder entrar en el equipo, tener una regularidad, poder sumar la mayor cantidad de minutos, eso en lo personal. Luego, como en lo colectivo, poder entrar en zona de clasificación, en playoff y poder estar lo más alto posible. Así que creo que no solo yo, sino que todo el equipo anhela eso y vamos a meternos como objetivo llegar a playoff.
We're coming up on a break for Union Insider, but when we return, we'll preview the Union's upcoming match this weekend in the Union's matchup on Saturday against St. Louis City SC. We'll be right back after this. Time for this week's Union Update presented by Torque. It was Dollar Dog Night for the Union on Sunday, so it was only fitting that the team brought in the #1 ranked competitive eater in the world, Joey Chestnut. The Hot Dog King signed autographs, took pictures with fans before the game, commented on a hot dog eating contest between fans, and struck the drum before taking part in an eating competition during halftime he himself called the 1776 Challenge, eating 1 cheesesteak, 7 hot dogs, 7 soft pretzels, and 6 slices of tomato pie, which of course he completed. Which is odd because that's actually Sebastian's breakfast every day too. So,
and that's why I look like
he
this.
keeps that figure. It's amazing. Welcome back to Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm Marisa. We're going to move on to this weekend now. The Union are back at home to take on St. Louis SC on Saturday night. So naturally, it's time to get the keys to the game presented by Subaru. Seba, your key?
I think, for me, it's we saw against Nashville who played a bit defense, defensive block, playing low. It was very hard for us to find like the player into the pocket between the line. Can we do a better job, doing that game with St. Louis, didn't give up any goal yet into the league. So the best defense in MLS so far, really, like concentrate defensively and try to go, in counter-attack. So for the Union, it's kind of like to be patient, move the block of St. Louis, and can we find those passes, to the forward, between the pocket, between the line, to the pocket, and then combine, to go to the goal. It's something we didn't see a lot against Nashville, so I hope to see a bit more combination in a final third for the Union.
All right, and Sheanon, for you?
For me, it's going to be to defend that space in behind the back line. After looking at last week's game, the Union need to do a much better job of making sure that they give cover. If you're going to look to press teams, they're going to look to bypass that pressure by playing in behind, and the Union need to do a better job of reading that ball in behind. When you're getting tight to players, you can't have balls going behind and players going in on breakaways. So if they can do that, I'm sure that they will be able to create chances on the other side like we've seen them do in every game so far this season. They just need to clean up the back line. There's going to be some new faces back there. They need to get on the same page quickly and make sure that they're keeping the St. Louis City FC attack in front of them.
It's time now for the final break of the show, but when we return, the guys will give their final thoughts on the Union's matchup this weekend against St. Louis SC. Union Insider will wrap up after this. Here's the answer to this week's Union Trivia question presented by United Concordia. The last time the Union had the same starting lineup for 4 consecutive games is during the 2022 season, where they had the same lineup in their games on April 9th, 16th, 23rd, and May 1st. All right, it is our final segment here on Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross, and it's time for these guys to share their final thoughts for the show on this week's edition of Final Whistle presented by Allstate. Sheanon, your final thought heading into the weekend?
Yeah, this is going to be the first game where the Union have to deal with some adversity coming off of their first loss of the season, also dealing with some players, the red card to Makanya and the other players that are going to be off on international duty. How do they deal with that? How do they deal with things when it's not going their way and it's not all wins and good things? So they need to do a good job of picking themselves up off the mat and getting going again. Hopefully they can take down a win and get that train moving.
Yeah. Seba?
I'm with Sheanon on that. I think, can they rebound on the first loss, of the year? But like Sheanon said, a lot of new, maybe player playing that game. So can one of those players or two or three find this opportunity to show, what he can do, and when he plays, get a win for the team and make it then difficult for the coaching staff and Bradley Carnell to take, his starting 11 for the next game against Miami. It's all about there, I think, for a healthy group. I think there's a lot of talent, in the youth for the Philadelphia Union, but now, we are playing a St. Louis team who is going to be tough, undefeated, like I said, so we need to get a full result at home. We give 3 points against Nashville, and now that's the time for them to step up and show what they can do on the field.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see. Also, happy belated birthday to Sheanon, St. Patrick's Day baby over there.
Irishman.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this one. The Union are home again this weekend, but on Saturday, this time as they take on St. Louis SC for the first time in club history. Seba will be alongside Dave Leno for the radio call on 97.5 The Fanatic, and the game can also be seen on MLS Season Pass. For Seba and Sheanon, I'm Marisa. We'll see you next week.